Okay, for the two-piece printed denture, I'm going to take a bit of a different approach. We're still going to use the same bonding agent. So again, that is called Bond LC. It's not the only one that works. It's just the one that I tend to use. We'll take the bonding agent, and this time we're going to apply both to the base and also to the teeth in the area where they're going to be bonded. So we'll go around, place this in every socket, and also wrap around the edges here because you will get a little overflow, and you want that overflow to be able to bond properly as well. And now the same on the teeth, and you can begin to see why it's valuable to leave these on the supports, because that gives you a handle to hold on to, and you don't have to worry about getting bonding agent all over your hands and just making a huge mess of things. So I would suggest leaving it on the support structure until everything is bonded together. And now we'll light cure. Okay, the bonding agent has now been applied, and now we need to actually get the resin that we're going to bond these two together with. Now, in my case, I'm going to use the exact same denture base material. This is the denture base. And what I'll do is pour a little bit out into some kind of container. And now I'm going to take a monoject syringe and just suck some of this material up so that it's in a syringeable form, and it just makes it easier to handle. Okay, that should be enough. We don't need to go crazy here and use too much. Now what I'll do is go around and apply some of this in the wells into which each tooth is going to seat. Don't get too crazy and way overfill this, because you're already going to have some excess extrude out, and you don't want to make a huge mess for yourself that you've got to clean up. So get the entire socket wetted with resin. And now take your teeth, and I want you to see here how this extrudes out. All right. So there you see all of that excess material is going to come out, and we want to make sure that we don't have all of that running all over the teeth and giving them a pinkish hue. And so what I'm doing here is just taking my paintbrush and I'm just dragging that down onto the base surface. And this is accomplishing two things. It is getting the excess resin off the teeth, obviously, but it's also starting to polish the actual base. Now I'm going to tack this tooth on the far side into place so that I don't have to sit here and keep on squeezing it together. And now that lets me just focus on this other side without worry about that coming undone. And we'll just continue on the process. Drag that excess material off of the teeth and down onto the base, and then just smooth it out on the base so that that can begin to polish this as well. And now we'll tack that into place. Okay, so we've got all this tacked into place, but at this point I really would like to have the support structure gone. And so I'm just going to take my snippers and snip off the supports to remove this printing base. And as you can see, that will fall away nicely, along with all of those excess supports. And we just want to make sure we get those off. And that also goes for any kind of hairs or dirt or anything else that might get over onto the denture. Once it's cured into that resin, good luck ever getting that out. And so do try to keep your work field clean and try to reduce any of that dirt or anything that could get on the denture, because it's just really difficult to get that off once it's been cured into place. So I'm repeating the same process. The light doesn't go all the way through when I'm curing on that buccal side, and so this material on the lingual aspect has not been cured at all. And if you have any areas that you'd like to add a bit more material, just use your syringe and dab that in. And I'm just also looking over the base and trying to find any areas that look dry still, that need a bit of polish. And then I'll just drag some of that material over onto that area so that we can get this as smooth as possible. And here you see a more or less completed denture. All that needs to happen now is I need to break this off of the support base for the pink, and then smooth up any areas where it left a little rough spot. Like when you break away these supports, sometimes there can be a little bit of a sharp edge there that you want to reduce, and so get rid of any of those. And I usually, just for sake of smoothing it and polishing it where it's not going to be as apt to catch stains, I'll go back over on the inside and do a really, really light skim coat with the same 3D printing resin, with the goal just being to get rid of any of those little 3D printing terrace looking lines. And then this is ready to deliver. You can polish your teeth if you want to. You can take this to a rag wheel and use some pumice on it. But really, that is the entire process for bonding up a 3D printed denture. Nice anatomy, and so it's not that difficult of a workflow. And I think if you start doing these, you'll find a lot of scenarios where you would rather do one of these simple 3D printed dentures and keep your costs down, as opposed to doing a really high-end lab processed denture. That certainly has its place, but a cheaper 3D printed denture also has its place. And so it's just another tool in the toolbox.